Once, there was a young woman named Anna who lived in a small town, surrounded by hills that were as quiet as the way her mind felt most days. For years, she had struggled with a deep, consuming depression that clouded everything around her. The days seemed to blend together, each one heavier than the last. She couldn't remember the last time she felt joy, or even simply peaceful. Her heart ached, but it felt like there was no way to escape the pain. Anna would wake up each day, feeling like a weight had been placed on her chest before she even opened her eyes. Her friends tried to reach out, but she felt like she was disappearing, like the person they saw wasn't really her, just an empty shell. Every attempt to explain how she felt came out in fragments, words she couldn't fully grasp, feelings she couldn't articulate. But one day, something small shifted. It wasn't dramatic, or even noticeable at first. She took a walk in the woods behind her house, a place she had visited countless times as a child, and something in the way the trees swayed in the wind, the sun breaking through the clouds, gave her a fleeting moment of peace. It wasn't a cure, but it was a glimpse of life outside the fog. The next week, Anna went back to therapy. She had avoided it for months, convinced that nothing would help, but this time, she walked in with an open mind. She started talking, not about everything at once, but little by little. She talked about the heaviness, about the hopelessness, and how she felt invisible in the world. With each conversation, the weight on her shoulders began to feel a little less oppressive. She found herself reaching out to people more, friends, family, even strangers. It wasn't easy, and sometimes she felt the urge to withdraw again, but she remembered that feeling in the woods, the gentle peace that had whispered to her. As weeks passed, Anna began to take small steps toward rebuilding herself. She joined a community yoga class, went back to painting, something she hadn't done in years, and allowed herself to laugh at silly things again. It wasn't an overnight transformation, and there were still tough days, but slowly, the fog started to lift. Over time, Anna learned that healing didn't mean she would never feel sadness again. It meant that she could exist alongside it, sometimes at peace, sometimes in struggle, but always moving forward. And though the journey was far from linear, she had learned to trust that even the darkest days would eventually give way to light. The story of Anna wasn't one of a sudden escape from depression, but of gradual, quiet resilience. A reminder that sometimes, the hardest battles are fought not with grand gestures, but with the soft, steady steps of persistence and self-compassion.